Close the door.
The door. It might have a thing on the bottom. Good evening. I cannot tell if, I think we're good. I don't know why that thing is. So welcome to our first episode of Compton to Capitol.
Yep.
There's gonna be a little bit of a delay on the screen. It's a little weird. So welcome to Compton to Capitol, where truth, transparency, and community come first. This platform was created to connect the issues impacting Compton residents to the larger political decisions shaping California and the nation ahead of the 2026 election cycle. From City Hall and the LA County Board of Supervisors to Sacramento and Capitol Hill, we're breaking down how government decisions affect everyday people without the spin, confusion, or political games. Our mission is to provide honest conversations, credible information, and real accountability while empowering our community to stay informed, engaged, and active in the democratic process. Because when people understand how power works, they're better equipped to make their voices heard. So I am here with Mr. Rodney Lister. This is our first go round on this,
Right.
but I am going to let you introduce yourself. Tell us about you.
First of all, thank you for having me here. How many conversations we had about this? Multiple conversations?
Months worth of conversations.
So to finally be here, I appreciate it. For those that don't know me, Rodney Lister, resident of Compton, California since 1966. Long time. Native, went to Verbum High School, went to Pepperdine University, graduated, went to Las Vegas, lived there for a while, came back to Compton in 2015. My family's here, and I got involved with Compton because, or local government, because I got tired of complaining about what was going on and why wasn't this being done and that being done. And I said, let me stop complaining. Let me get involved. So when I got involved, I decided to run for mayor. And I tell people I didn't win, but I didn't come in last.
That's right.
But that began for me the course of where I am now, getting involved, getting active, participating in what's going on at the local level, getting on several committees for the city of Compton and Compton College, and just becoming an advocate for people like me and like you, residents who want to know what's being done and how can we get better, from operations to leadership. And I'm just glad to be here.
Thank you. I am happy to have you here. Rodney and I talk a lot. Whenever I have an idea, or am I wrong, or am I reading this wrong, he is the person I bounce most of that off of to make sure I'm not crazy most of the time.
And then I call her when I'm complaining and I have to be out talking off the ledge. But the thing we have in common is that we're both very passionate about the city.
Yes. So I was born in 1973 here. My grandparents purchased their home in 1951 here in Compton.
Wow.
I was raised on Arambi and Spruce across from DJ Quick. So we grew up together. And I went to Our Lady of Victory and then Regina Chaley. I did kindergarten at Dickerson Elementary, and both of my kids went there as well. So my roots are deep in Compton. I've moved in and out of the city over the years. But I always say I would love to have a home in Richland Farms with some goats and some chickens and retire and just live a good farm life here. Unfortunately, it's not affordable right now with property taxes, but in a couple of our sessions, I'm sure we'll hit the property tax thing. But I work in Compton, so I work for Churla during the day. We have an office here in Compton, and my nonprofit runs out of Compton as well. Many of you may know Compton Advocates, and we are focused on educating and empowering residents to get involved, hold their leadership accountable, and really work together to try to find solution focused things to move the city forward. And I don't really know, like I got to know Rodney when he was running for mayor, but we didn't know each other then. That's when I heard of him. And I really don't know how we connected after that.
I think, well, in the world of social media, you made a post. And I forgot what you said in the post, but I was really intrigued with what you said. I think you were speaking about something not being done that was fair or that impacted a lot of residents, and why wasn't anyone at City Hall listening? And I reached out to you, and then you said, "Hey, I'm having this event on Saturday called Compton Advocates. You want to come?" And I said, "Is there coffee going to be there?" And I've been
Can always get coffee, Rodney with coffee and donuts.
Yep. So that's how the friendship began. And then I went to Bourbon Day, went to Virginia Chaley, brother and sister school. We both went to Our Lady Victory, different time frames of each other.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful thing about Compton. People who are Compton and long time Compton, at some point in time, they're going to have either school in common, friends in common, or sports
Yep.
league or whatnot. And that's what makes us strong.
I think that's what brought me back. Ultimately, I had lived in Orange County for 10 years, and Orange County was nice and it was clean and it was, for the most part, safe, but it had zero culture and zero community. And that's one thing that I could say about Compton is growing up, if I was doing something or somewhere I wasn't supposed to be on the block, that person would either yell at me or say they're going to call my parents. And so it is a very tight-knit community. And it's beautiful. Like it definitely has its issues, but I don't think we'd fight so hard for Compton if we didn't believe in Compton.
Right.
So we definitely keep that hope going. So our commitment is to truth and transparency. If you know me, you know I do a lot of research. I don't like speaking unless I know that what I'm speaking on is valid and true. And I also believe, and I think Rodney is the same, in being respectful. I don't think we need to disrespect each other, even if we disagree. I think there is always something to learn from someone with an opposing view for the most part. So, I mean, I'm sure there's been times we haven't agreed on something, but we just talk it out. And sometimes I gain a different view of that situation. I don't know if you want to add anything onto that. Get me talking and
I'll follow your lead. One thing I noticed about how we interact with people in Compton is that sometimes, because we are so passionate, it's easy to verbally overstep, be it from a raised tone or to a crass term being used or something that might be offensive. And the one thing that I'll be priding myself on, and I think Compton Advocates does a good job of this, is that we're always welcome to different perspectives, opinion, positions, and views, as long as it's always kept respectful and engaging. Because you never know, my opinion might change just through a conversation or vice versa. And I think that's one thing that, and we'll get into later on, that we're looking for in our leadership.
Yeah.
And the people who guide us legislatively and administratively. So here at this forum we're on, it'll always be respectful. If there is criticism, it'll be criticism that that we will be comfortable saying in private or in public. And I think that's going to set us apart.
Yeah, I think most people know. If you know me, you know if I say it, I'll say it to your face.
Right.
Also.
Right.
And what we want is the best for the community, whether that's the best leadership, whether that's the best employees, or, you know, it doesn't matter. We want to see what's best for the city of Compton and its residents. And we have been talking about this for a couple of months, but it was hard. Life is busy and things are crazy, but we thought it was more urgent now because we know that trust in media and politics is declining. People from the national level down, things are getting more expensive. You know, life is getting harder, and then you have all of this stuff kind of going on the local level, and you have elections, and it's like, it's overwhelming, and I understand why people turn off, but really we want people to be engaged and empowered because that's how we ultimately get change. And so the voter apathy, I'm hoping to see that become a thing of the past.
You know, I think that historically the voter turnout has been low, very low, because a lot of times people feel that no one listens,
Yeah,
or they feel, why does it matter who I vote for? They aren't going to listen, or it's going to be a continuation of the same thing being repeated that's always been repeated.
hmm
And oftentimes we fall into that cycle of we keep electing for those that vote for the same kind of person that just carries on oftentimes the behavior and actions from those in the past. And by not participating, then are we complicit to the bad leadership?
I mean, we have people winning elections by 5 votes sometimes, 1 vote in one election. I always tell people if you don't vote, to me, that counts as a vote.
Right.
Because you're allowing other people to make that decision for you. And look, let's be real. Compton elections are messy. And if there's one thing I hear from people is they don't want to hear it because it is so messy in Compton that it's problematic to get involved because you're getting hit with all of these things. And we do see an increase in misinformation and disinformation during these times on all levels of government, all of the races. So it's really important that you pay attention and you do your research when you're going into election cycles, because it seems like the focus becomes less on what candidates are offering and more on tearing down other people. And that's not a qualifier for me. So we'll talk about that a little bit more later as well.
Do you think the city going to the new election cycle and the county election department being more involved, being the lead agency, handling the voting process, has benefited the city compared to years past when
Yes.
there was accusations about prior city clerk administrations doing things improperly?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know when Compton counted its own ballots. In the time I've been involved, that has not been the case, but I've heard, and that's another thing with the misinformation and disinformation. So misinformation is false or inaccurate information shared without the intent to deceive. So people just don't know how it works, or they don't know the process. Disinformation is when people provide false information intentionally to manipulate, divide, or mislead people. And so a lot of the 7 years of work I've been doing have been to try to pick through that and get to the true items. But I do think, and I know I got a lot of slack when it came up on the ballot to shift the elections, I spoke out for it.
I did too.
And people gave me a lot of grief for it. But in the last presidential election, we saw 22,000 people vote in that election.
Yes.
So I don't think it could have hurt. I don't think it was a bad thing. I don't think it could hurt anything. So we'll see how this one goes.
I think when it comes to misinformation and disinformation, when it comes to the actual ballot itself,
Yes.
and people saying that don't put it at the post office because it won't get dropped off, or may not get kind of be leery of the drop box.
Or people are scared. Yeah, the drop boxes, don't use those. And those are like the most secure way of dropping your ballot off other than driving to Norwalk or wherever they're at now.
And prior to elections, I've done drop box and the post office. And when you put it in the drop box or the post office, when the county election office receives it, you'll get a text or an email saying your ballot's been received.
Yes.
Within 2 days.
And they stalk you. If you sign up for ballot tracks, you will get a text when your ballot's been mailed to you.
Exactly.
A couple of those. And then when you finally turn it in, it'll give you like the play-by-play of where your ballot is up until your ballot's been counted.
So when I hear people speak about that, or don't trust this or that, I often question, well, why are you saying that? Is it to get people not to even cast a ballot?
Right.
And so you have to be leery about that. So when people are telling you certain voting systems don't work in California, you have to go out your way not to vote
Right.
because they mail it to you.
Because they opened it up to LA County. So
Exactly.
before you would get your little thing with your address of your precinct that you'd have to go to the one place. Now, I think it was during COVID, they opened it up to LA County.
To LA County. You can vote anywhere.
Mail in, vote anywhere in LA County. The ballot boxes popped up. You can drop off your ballots at the polling place because you still have that option if you're traditional. Sometimes I do that too. There's not an excuse to not vote.
And I think one of the functions that I see us having is sharing information with the public that encourages them to vote. And I believe everyone should vote on all items, but there might be some items that just aren't important to you. That's your right.
Right.
But still vote on the things that are important to you, be it every single item on the ballot from governor to lieutenant governor to congressperson to school board and down, or the items that are important to you, be it a property tax issue or a sales tax, but not to vote. Essentially, you're allowing us to dictate what happens to you because we're voting on something you're not.
And you have to know, you may think something doesn't affect you, so you don't want to vote on that particular item. So one thing I'm going to bring up is you may think, I don't have kids in Compton Unified. I need to worry about the Measure CPT that's coming up on the ballot. However, if you're a property owner, even if you're a renter, that's going to increase property tax to $60 per $100,000 of assessed value. So even if you don't own that property, do you think the landlord is not going to transfer that cost to, you're going to get a rent increase? So,
and the flip side is true. If you do want to vote yes on that, you have to understand that by voting yes, it's increasing your property tax.
Right.
And some people are good with that, and some might not be. But to not vote on something that's going to impact you financially makes no sense to me.
And then talk about misinformation, disinformation. The way those measures are written are very pretty on the surface. I know when I voted yes on measure, whatever the one in 2015 was.
The first Compton high school one.
I voted yes because when I read, I wasn't as engaged politically, I wasn't as educated, and I read it and I thought, oh my God, I know Dickinson is run down because my kid went there and my sisters and my nieces and nephews, and it looks like all the schools are going to get a facelift with this. And then it turned out it was one school. And it's tricky because they don't really tell you that unless you ask questions, or if you're connected to a group that does ask the questions and then they kind of relay the information they get. But you got to pay attention. And I know it takes time and I know it can be exhausting. Trust me, I work a full-time job and do this on the side. But if it's something that's going to affect you in the wallet, then you have to pay attention.
And that goes to misinformation. When you get flyers in the mail, every flyer is supposed to indicate who's paying for the flyer, who's funding it. So you can get an idea of which organization is backing you. Candace is running for office, or if I'm running for office.
I'm not running for office.
I'm not either. Or a ballot measure.
So the misinformation will start.
Right. And using the bond issue, for example, when I got my first flyer, I called Candace and I said, I can't believe this flyer. And you said, why? I said, I'm looking at it, and being a longtime resident of Compton, such as yourself, there was a time where the city of Compton was overwhelmingly African American. And then eventually it became less and less African American. And currently today, it's majority population-wise Latino and African American, which is normal. The ebb and flow of population shift changes and everything. The school district has been majority Latino for a very long time. So when I got a flyer about the bond measure, I'm going, why are all these kids only African American? When the school district is comprised of African American and Latino students. And then I called you and I said, is this because more African American voters vote and it's a way to sway them to vote because we all, like Wu-Tang's for the kids, ODB, we all love the kids, you know?
People can't say no to the kids.
Exactly. But when you get past that, you say, well, we love the kids. Well, but how is this going to impact my
Yeah,
property taxes? There's very little information on that piece of paper that says this is the impact for the next 30 years.
right,
So a lot of times you have to dig down on yourself because we all love kids.
right.
We all want our kids to have more than what we had.
But if you're living in your car, because you get priced out your house,
And that's the downside. So
and I worry about the seniors
right.
with that, because the seniors are going to get priced out of their,
Or
out of their
or
properties.
those on fixed income, or those who are barely surviving.
Right. It's
And
not the time. And all of these, so there's been two bonds passed with
Yes.
CUSD, then a couple with Compton College. All of those they just add up on your property tax
yeah,
bill.
about 30
So
years, 20,
yeah,
30 years.
and they pile $60 on $60 on $60. So you have to look at all that. It's critical. And with local elections, I think because of the current state of our nation, a lot of people stay fixated on national things because we're just getting hit all the time by news and things and hantavirus and Ebola now and everything. But I have to say your local elections are what are going to affect you directly. So your housing, policing, your school board, your schools, homelessness, business development, that's your city council. Those are your people, like your potholes, your lighting, your infrastructure items. So it's really important to pay attention on that level. And I do talk to a lot of people and they think Karen Bass is our mayor. And I'm like, no, Compton has its own mayor and city council.
Right.
We do not we are in LA County, but we do not fall under LA City.
Right.
And then I did put some stats in our notes because I thought this was interesting. So there are 51,698 registered voters in the city of Compton. That's a little higher than the last election. But as of May 15th, only 882 ballots had been returned. So there are little over 50,000 ballots that are still floating out there. And a lot of people do wait till the day of to do their stuff. But we're at a voter turnout right now of 1.7%.
And historically, we've hovered between 15 to 18% of voters turning out.
In a good year.
In a good year, which is what?
I want to say in a bad year, it's
about
like
17,000 people.
Yeah.
So if you look at the numbers, 17,000 people dictate the future of
100,000.
Almost 100,000 people. And that's why voter participation is so important, because the way I am, if someone's going to tax me, I'm going to speak on it. I'm going to participate. I'm going to either support it or criticize it. But in order to do that and be able to participate in the conversation about the pros and cons, I have to be a voter. I don't talk to people who don't vote. If you don't vote, you have an issue about something's not fair, not right, and once I find out you didn't vote, then it's like, to me, I feel you've given up the right to complain. Because in California, once again, you have to go out your way not to vote.
Yeah. Not voting is a choice.
Exactly. You don't even have to request a ballot. It's automatically mailed to you.
Right.
You choose not to open it up. You choose not to fill it up and all that. So that's why.
That is one of the first questions I ask people when they call me. If it's like a new person and I haven't dealt with them and they call me to like complain about something or ask, and I'll say, well, do you vote? And then I wait for the answer. And then we have a conversation. If they say no, then yeah, it's a whole other thing. But you got to save yourself.
And you have a certain segment of population who won't vote because they think that it allows the government a way to track you. and I get it. But
the government's already tracking you.
It's weird because you have a driver's license. if they want to track you, aren't you going to try to do your driver's license more so than
You have a phone,
you
you have credit cards, you have a debit card,
You have
you
all
have a
kinds-
car that's tracked.
So what makes you think that they're going to go to the voter roll and say, where does Rodney live?
What is that though? Is this the thing that? Because I've heard people talk about jury duty.
Say the
I don't
jury-
do this because I don't want to get jury duty. Okay, I, I don't even know what to tell
But
you.
then,
Like,
but then, sadly, if someone in your family catches a case, or if you catch a case and you go to trial, which is your right, and no one in the jury box looks like you, chances are because someone who looks like you said, I don't want to go.
yeah,
So, I mean, we should not catch cases anyway.
right,
Don't
right.
catch a case.
Yes,
But,
don't do bad things.
but it's just the same thing with voting. If you don't vote and you get a city council or a supervisor at LA County level or above who just does everything that makes no sense, well, how much can you complain about that person
Right.
if you had a chance not to vote for that person? So misinformation, disinformation, and not participating, it hurts me and it hurts you
Mm-hmm.
because you're one vote. And we see in the past where a few votes decided
I've seen 20 votes.
election
I've
of a
seen
council
one
person.
vote. Like we're literally watching every day when they do the election
Mhm.
updates, and it's like 2 votes added,
Exactly.
3 votes added here,
Exactly.
and it's a little crazy. I do want to say thank you to Joel Estrada, who ran for council the last time, because
Yes.
he is the one who has been posting this data. And I forgot the name of the system that he uses,
Mhm.
that most candidates use, but
Mhm.
it's like the data that pulls in the ballot information. So he's been really great with sharing that. I do also want to say, like, Compton's average age is 35, 30s,
Mhm.
young people. So far out of that 882
Mhm.
ballots, the largest age group to turn in their ballots is 65 plus,
And
which we expect.
with respect, and one thing that voters need to be aware of, and this is nationwide, you will always see candidates speak to older populations as far as what's important to them and whatnot, because from a data standpoint, older voters, which historically have been voters 50 and plus,
Yeah,
always vote consistently.
I'm one of those people now.
Younger voters, because of college or school or work or maybe apathy, don't vote at such a high rate.
Right.
So when you see a candidate that might not look like you or speak to from an age standpoint,
Right, right.
or might not speak to things that's important to you because you're early 30s, early 40s. Well, historically, people in that range don't vote. We love to see everybody vote, but that's why certain candidates go after certain groups, targeted
Mhm.
wise. And if you want that to change, you have to start voting more from the
Right.
data standpoint. And you see it
And doing
for
your research on
right,
the candidates.
right, which is very important.
Yeah. And we did talk a little bit about the hit pieces. And I know I personally feel like that is, I know you said it's a turnoff for you when you see those hit pieces. It is a turnoff for me as well, because I don't really want to hear what you think of Rodney. I want to hear, what do you have in your tool chest that you're going to come in and do something with? And the hit pieces, I'm going to research all the candidates,
Right.
and I'm going to make my decision. So no matter what your hit piece says, if I find out that that is disinformation or misinformation, then I'm really going to look at you bad because you put out some lies. And I saw that I mean, it's messy now, but the last mayoral election was really, really bad with that.
And my thing is, if I see a lot of hit pieces, just like a 4-to-1 ratio of bad pieces to the good piece you put out, I'm going to automatically wonder, well, why are you going after this person so hard?
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to cause me to look at that person that you're putting hit pieces out to see, well, is this
Why is she
someone?
such a threat? Or
Exactly.
why are they such a threat?
And the flip side is true. I might realize and say, yeah, actually, it's a good person. Or most of this is not
Right.
accurate. So when you see something from a flyer standpoint that makes you feel a certain kind of way, don't ignore it. Take time. In today's world, Google,
Google's
ChatGPT, these
free.
things, you can find out almost anything information-wise that you can put in your toolbox that says, I'm going to vote for this
Right.
person because of what I actually researched. Or I'm not going to vote for that person because of what I researched.
And well, when you're done.
Go ahead.
I will say, like the last election cycle, I would get a lot of hit piece or like mail from one or email from one of the candidates that was running. And it was always very negatively toned toward their competition. And I actually responded to those emails and said, this is just a lowbrow look. Like that, I want to hear about what you have to offer, not get all these emails of you just slandering your competition. And so I did email a couple times. So you have full authority to do that if you're getting emails from them. And then when I ran into that person at an event, I actually told them to their face. We had a discussion and I said, it's making me look at you in a light that is not favorable because I do not run from a place of wanting to constantly tear people down. Now, if people have to be called out for bad behavior, then hey, maybe don't do bad behavior. That's holding your leadership accountable. But slandering someone and trying to tear them down when you're not telling me what you have to stand on, like that's problematic for me.
It's almost like you're making me. You make people look at someone deeper than they would have if you had not said anything.
Because it's like putting more of a thing on them. Like
it's almost
look.
It's almost like being attracted to something that everyone says that's bad, and you say, well, let me look for myself because everyone's saying so bad.
Yeah.
What
is
did they do?
bad about this person?
What did they say? And now I'm looking at them and I might agree with you, or I might go ahead and say,
right,
it wasn't true. I'm not going to vote for them, but I'm not going to vote for you either because you attacked that person so much. And now here comes this dark horse.
And that has happened to me in this election.
I was dark horses out there.
I was pretty cool with, because I stay fairly good with everyone because I feel like you have to have those relationships with your elected officials so that you know that if you have a need, they're going to pick up your call or they're going to answer your text or So I try to keep it pretty level with everyone. I'm respectful, I respect the position. I will work with most people for the betterment of the community. But there's a race where there's a few candidates, and I'm cool with all of them. I'm cool with the top two, let me just say that, evenly. But the level of the hit pieces is so nasty that it has made me feel the ick for one of them. And so now it's changed my whole perception because I'm like, man, I don't really know. Like I have people ask me questions about the candidates that's doing the hit pieces, and I don't know because I don't think I've ever heard them talk about their actual experience.
Right.
I've just seen a bunch of hit pieces toward the competition, and it's like, okay, well now this is not good. Like it's not a good look.
And to people who are active voters and whatnot, most candidates or all candidates have campaign offices. And they have staff that are there. Some run their offices.
And many of them are in the Compton Town Center by Foot Locker.
Some run there between 5 and 10 at night. But for the most part, if you have a question that you want the candidate to answer or speak on, and you call their campaign office, someone will get back to you. And we all have discernment. When they call back and they answer your question, you can figure out, did they answer your question? Did they not? Did they keep it 100? Did they tell you what you wanted to hear?
You can tell.
But participate in it because that's why they have those sites set up for us to call and participate. One thing about you and I believe, is that we'll never tell you who to vote for. We'll never tell you this person is good, bad, or ugly, but we will tell you how to research.
Correct.
We will tell you things that we feel are important for you to look at, to consider.
Red flags. I will tell you red flags.
Yeah.
Be careful if a person does this, if they don't respond, if they get rude, if what the hit pieces, you know,
Mhm.
the kind of stuff that they're doing. You have to pay attention to all of that because I'm going to say this, I'm trying to think of where we're at, but one thing that has been, well, like where I want to add this
Okay.
point, no candidate, and I have to say this because it has been something that's been bothering me, is like when a candidate comes into a city council race and says they're already formulating a 3-vote block, so they're operating. I have a problem with that strategy only because I have seen really great projects not get pushed through because some people didn't get along. And so to me, that team vision has to be there for me with candidates because you can't come into a situation where you're already working on a block. Like, I don't like that person and I'm going to vote no on everything that they say. And I have my people here and I'm going to get everything I want, because that's how I feel like Compton has gotten stuck and not progressed over the years, because you're constantly seeing those blocks come through and then really good projects come up and then they're gone.
Whereas I'm always drawn to the candidate that says, I want to come in and work with everyone.
Right.
I
Which is
want
how
to
it
come
should
in
be.
and do a relationship with all the council members that are there when I get sworn in, the mayor, I get sworn in. Because in a perfect council world, things should go through 5-0
Right.
or 4-1. There will be times that things,
Or there should be a healthy amount of discussion where they talk it out and then maybe it doesn't work. And maybe you are like, okay, well now I understand. No.
but when I come in from day one, and I'm talking about building a coalition, that means that I've already turned off in my mind 2 people who I don't want to work with.
Right.
And then for the next 2 years, we're going to be stuck with a council that doesn't work together, doesn't operate together. And then we lose.
And I feel like that's been Compton's thorn in its side for a minute now. Like, it's constantly this group against this group of people, and I don't like them, and I'm going to do this or not do this. And I just wanted to throw that out there because that to me is another red flag. If that's the conversation going into an election already, it's like, okay, you should be wanting for $600 a month, you should be wanting to go in there with some team building altruistic vision, because you're not getting paid a ton of money for this. You should be wanting to do it for the right reasons. But right now with the elections, if you don't know, I will say I did a live last week where I went through all of the seats that are up, what's legal, not legal, where the ballot boxes are, where the in-person voting locations are, and I went from governor down on what's on your ballot. And so feel free to go check that out if you're not familiar with what's going on with this election. But the current seats up on city council are mayor, city clerk, treasurer, District 2 and District 3. And then we have our Assembly District 65, which is pretty much an open race because the incumbent termed out. And so now it's kind of like anybody's playing field, really. And then Congress, District 43 is Maxine Waters. She is running for re-election, and she has a couple of people running against her.
And then don't forget we have.
And then Compton Unified has a few seats.
Yeah. And nothing for Compton College.
Nope. Yeah. Nothing for them this round. And then you have your government, lieutenant governor, and all of those big seats. So important things. So do we want to hit what's happening in Compton right now?
Yeah.
I feel like Compton is just, there's a lot going on.
I'll let you start it off. Then I'm going to jump in.
Okay. So I'm just going to say we have a city manager update.
Which is? So me?
I'm turning it over to you now.
Our current city manager, who was on admin leave, Mr. Willie Hopkins Jr., has been appointed city manager for the city of
I think it's Milpitas,
Milpitas,
which is by San Jose.
that's North California, right?
It's a very affluent
Very affluent.
city.
Very affluent. And he was our city manager for just over 2 years.
24, January 24, he came in.
Yeah. So a little over 2 years. And there was a cloud of employment status for the past 2 months or whatnot. I don't know all the particulars as far as what happened
I
to
don't either.
him being placed on admin leave.
And there's no way for us to know. I will say it makes me uncomfortable when people say they have this or that information on the why, because all of that was discussed in closed session and no one should have that information but the city council members and the attorney if he was in that room.
And that's the problem that I have that goes back to how our leadership has operated in the past and currently. And this is not to blame any one person or group of people specifically, because we don't know all the details, but it should never got to the point where the public was so much misinformation given to the public. Allegations of fraud, allegations of illegal contracts, allegation of workplace harassment. That didn't come from council members specifically, but came from the inside of City Hall.
Right.
And at some point in time, it causes the public to lose faith in how operations are going.
Right.
And I felt, I'm sad to see him leave. I felt that him and his team did a lot of good things. As you know, I started off not liking him at first.
Same.
And I told him that.
I thought he was rough around the edges and kind of arrogant, I'll be honest.
From day one, and I told him that. I said that in public at council meetings and one-on-one. And he said, you know what, give me a chance to win you over. And he did. So obviously I'm sad that he left. We have Mr. Grooms, a very accomplished city manager. This is his second time? Third time helping us out.
Third go round. Which,
in an interim basis.
He's competent.
And I've had good issues with him. But now, once again, we're on the market for a new city manager. And
I do think this, because when he was on admin leave, he was still getting paid.
Yes.
And then we were also paying Mr. Grooms the same salary. So we were double paying.
Yes.
So now, at least, since he accepted a new position, I think we're off the hook.
Yeah.
I think, but I don't know. I don't know. And see,
Chances
this is where I'll admit I don't know on this one. I don't think they have to pay him out.
So, well, yes and no. He was under contract up through January 27th. So some type of buyout may have occurred where he was afforded vacation and sick time buyout, or he may have took some type of salary reduction, or he may have said, I just want to leave.
Just let me go.
And all that. And those are things that may have come out or will come up in closed session. But
I wonder if that's something you can get, because worst case scenario, if I'm not 100% sure on something, I'll do a public records request.
Yeah. If they agree to terms during closed session.
They won't. That's not public record.
No, if they agree to a terms of closed session and they come out and say, we've accepted his offer of resignation.
Right.
Again, do they have to share about what the terms are? It's public funds.
I mean, his whole contract was public record,
right?
Like everything. And so that detailed, like if he is terminated in X months, he gets this. If he's terminated in 6 months, it's this. It was very specific. So maybe, I don't know, but Compton, has a wild history with city managers, and I do feel like they've been politicized.
Me personally, Mr. Grooms will be our city manager for approximately 4.5 months. So
yeah, because he has a retirement thing where he cannot be on past a certain time.
I almost would want them not to have a new city manager appointed in the event that December.
Mm-hmm. They
Assuming
come in
that,
January?
no, it starts the first Monday of the preceding month after the election, per the current city charter.
Okay.
So that would be,
Sir, I'm on the charter commission.
so that would be the first December. And uh,
Okay.
if our current city councilman wins in District 3, and then the incumbent wins for mayor, then you could move forward and select a brand new city manager that the incumbent person could live with. They might not like the new city manager,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and I think that's what's happened in the past and
And-
why we've gone through so many city managers.
But if you wait till December, then you give that council 2 years to work with the city manager. And then you go,
It really is unfortunate.
yeah,
The city manager thing, I don't think people realize how
huge it is.
detrimental it is to be cycling through city managers at the rate that Compton does, or any city, let me say any city, because I actually heard Milpitas has a high turnaround as well.
Well,
But there's a problem with continuity when you have that kind of shift because each new city manager has their own style, their own thing, they build their team. And if you're constantly changing, then now I wonder, like some of the projects that Hopkins was working on, are they going to continue, or is there going to be a new priority when a new one comes in, and then those are going to get?
Well, I look at city managers as CEOs. When you get a brand new CEO of a company, that person might have their own vision on how they want the company to run.
Culture change.
And they might change directors, they might change policies of operation, things of that nature. So when we get a brand new city manager, it would not surprise me if certain things that Mr. Hopkins was advocating for or had beginning take a different turn, or might continue, or might just be ceased. And that's the problem when you have a turnover with city manager. She's been there the longest, our most recent 4 or 5. The average
I don't know. In the 7 years I've been doing this work, I feel like it is, I can't even state all the names of people that I've dealt with, but
yeah,
it's unfortunate. It's just like the stability, and that was something that was listed on our audit. Also, is that lack of security with the city manager, and right now we also don't have a controller or a city attorney that has been permanently appointed. We have like fill-ins, like contractors. So those are critical areas in the city that need to be handled, and they're not being handled. So yeah, it's
and I think
kind of wild.
I think people don't understand the importance of the city manager. That individual runs the day-to-day operations of the city, from employees to
City council
unions
cannot
to
direct employees. That's the city manager's job.
exactly. And when you don't have a permanent fixture there, everything's always temporary.
Yeah.
Which kind of, in some cases, could put the city on hold until you have a permanent, because who wants to put a new policy in place that's going to be temporary?
Right.
And I encourage all residents to participate in this process. Normally, when they get down to the top 3, they identify them. You're able to research them, and then I know that excuse me, my
Let's start it over again.
Are we live?
Hit the, we're on Zoom right now, so
Okay.
hit the, screen. What's our time?
We got 7 minutes.
Okay.
That puts us at an hour.
Oh, shit. Okay, I gotta get ready for my class too. Okay, see the three dots? Click on that. And then there should be a live, YouTube live. You might have to scroll to the next screen. See that?
Stop YouTube live stream.
Oh, I guess it's going. So hi, people.
Are we still talking?
Well, I don't know why I can't see it, but we're gonna keep rolling with this. I thought we went off
This is
technology.
Thank you very much. This is our first time doing it. We're having.
You must give me money now.
Well, we have our tech support here, so we're just gonna finish it out. And this is recording also, so I can edit this and post it.
But that being said, it's important that we get involved with this process. This is our first meeting. This is our first time doing this.
Yeah,
So I
we'll lock this
appreciate
down by the next one.
Next time we will be much more substantially speaking on this.
Oh,
Hold up.
we're sideways, apparently. Can you just turn the phone? Like,
I could just turn the phone in.
We're sideways.
well, since we're sideways, I may just close this out.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next
And we
Wednesday.
get greater detail and greater depth of the actual ballot.
Yes.
We just wanted to introduce ourselves and speak about
Should I talk?
us and whatnot. Feel free to email
Yes,
Ms. Leo's machine
we do
address.
have an email address now. It's compton2capital@gmail.com.
Yeah, one more time, a little slower.
So Compton, COMPTONTO, capital, @gmail.com. And you can email us if you have questions or there's things you want us to research
Or
for the
suggestions.
next time or suggestions, please send them in and we will take all of that into account for the next time. And we only have a couple weeks
We'll get this camera fixed.
before the election, but, you know,
And then we'll gear up for the general election.
we will gear up for the general election. We will be hosting a candidate forum that round. And so get ready for all of that. But have a good night, y'all. We will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Meeting.